All right, so it's 5 o'clock. Happy Thursday. Good afternoon. We're gonna standard discussion. We'll get out some talking points and we'll answer some questions. Um, so off the jump, I kind of want to set a well. Actually, I don't want to set a tone for this. I just want to get a fact out of the way and then move on. We really need to tighten up our game a little bit. I am not in the interest of chasing ghosts. If I get a random email that some airman isn't wearing a mask, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go find that thing. It's not important. It's not really a thing. But when we get reports that the after party is in Building 3139 on a Saturday night, and then we go and we look at the videotapes, and there's probably something going on in 3139 at 1 in the morning, um, it's going to lead me to a place where I have to actually find out who those people are, get their faces, and take actions that's not going to be good for anybody. So we need to, and this isn't about getting the gate open or being whatever or earning privileges. This is about adhering to the very basic rules. No matter what the rules were, there's never been a time where we can have a party in the dorms at 0100. So I'm going to ask you this week to get that cleaned up. Let's not have that problem again, so we don't have to actually find the problem. If that makes sense, senior.
Yeah, so you're probably asking, hey, where's all this coming from? So I would say yesterday, I sat with the MTLs and just randomly said, hey, show me some video, of the day room, in the dorms. Won't necessarily get into any of the actual behavior that I witnessed. I would just say that some of it was borderline inappropriate. So I'll just leave it at that. So if you didn't know, understand that there are cameras in the dorms, obviously not in the actual rooms themselves, but they're in the common spaces. So they're in the halls, they're in the day room, they're in the stairwell. So understand that, and we can go back as far as we need to capture whatever it is we want to see. So just be mindful of that. And that's not necessarily a threat, but more of a watch what you're doing and making sure that you're doing the right thing. Because any type of gesture, whatever, can be misconstrued as being inappropriate, and all of a sudden you may find yourself in an investigation somewhere you don't want to be. So if you ever have to question it, don't do it. Just stay away from
it. And my biggest concern is all the reports of underage drinking in the dorms. We've got to make sure. So when I get those reports, I assume that's not a thing because I know everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Then we go and look at the videos, and I could see where that might be true.
Right.
So let's just kind of knock it off, right? And we've got to just again. I know this is getting tiresome. I know we're 3 months into this. Things have been phenomenal. Largely, everybody's doing what they need to do. Let's just make sure we keep it tight around the edges, and we get where we need to get to on this. So hopefully that's it for that. On the flip side, everything as far as big picture seems to be going the way it's supposed to. We're still graduating students. People are moving at pace. Not a lot of issues. Very few people in my office having issues. That's good. I think we're doing a good job there, and I do appreciate that. For things that are they're going to happen this weekend, I know there's going to be some food trucks. I don't have the specifics yet. The outdoor rec center is available to rent things. It'll be a lot of the same things that were available last week, plus things like food truck. When I get the actual pamphlet, which I expect to get tomorrow, we will publish that out everywhere that we can. I do know, and many of you have probably seen the memos that for permanent party they've extended the distance that they can travel to about 300 miles. Not great for you in the immediate. It doesn't really do anything to make your life better, besides maybe make your instructors a little bit happier, I guess. But big picture, when you start thinking about those 2 week thing I keep talking about, right? We're 14 days behind. The next decision on the decision tree is get the gate open and let the students get into some local, at least some local things off base. So that is, no kidding, the next decision point that we are at. So, which goes back to that first thing I said. Let's keep it tight. And I'm not telling you the gate's going to get open next weekend. I don't know. I have no idea where the decision tree is on that, but I do know that logically that is the next decision point. So just let's have a great weekend and make sure we get those opportunities.
Okay. Just kind of one thing to add, 'cause I've kind of heard it quite a bit, is I've kind of heard airmen say, having to earn the privileges back. Like, hey, what more do we have to do to earn the ability to go off base? Um, I would say, if you think about it, what led to this is it's not connected. So it wasn't that the gate was locked down because airmen did something. This was strictly because of a health pandemic. So changes in the health pandemic is what's going to allow you to go off base. So it isn't like, hey, we got to earn this or we got to do this. No, you guys just got to to continue to do what you've been doing and allow the medical side of this to flush itself out. And so I'm gonna quote a very smart NCO or senior NCO here. But here's the thing. So the reason why we're kind of keeping you guys close tabs on this is because whether you know it or not, you guys as intel professionals are considered mission essential. That means that we have to maintain this pipeline of intel professionals in order to maintain our intel capacity out in the field. We can't jeopardize your health as tough as it may seem to hear. The job that you have to do for the Air Force, for your nation, is more important than being able to go to Whataburger or to go out to the lake. I get it. It's direct, but it's also true. And what I want you guys to take from that is the fact that, hey, I'm mission essential. The government is trying to protect my health, my well-being, to make sure that I can get from here to there. They don't want to compromise. They don't want to jeopardize too soon by sending you out there to the public. And all of a sudden now, our intel capacity has been degraded because half our force has now caught COVID. We can't risk that. So that's the risk so what you see is our leadership not wanting to take that type of risk with exposing you until we feel there is a environment that's conducive for you guys to be out there and be fine. So
yeah, so that's the thing. And so at the ground level, a simple thought, because I'm not going to try to get all philosophical on this. What you should probably try to do as an individual is make sure that when that gate does open, and it will open, you are of a phase status that you can then go out.
Yeah.
So keep your stuff in stock. Let's get where we need to be, and it's going to be fine. The gate's going to eventually open. All right, PT question.
There we go.
God, this is it's like we save up all the things for 1 week, right? Last week was all jovial and joking, and Sergeant Pratt bringing you guys Chick-fil-A and all that greatness. And then we're going to talk about PT. So, yeah, I know this is not going to be popular. And there's sometimes where I'm thankful that command isn't a popularity contest. And this is one of them. So PT is the thing. PT is an Air Force thing. PT is the thing we're not doing good enough. And I personally take responsibility for that. It is a commander's program, and even if it wasn't, it'd be important to me. I am not doing the Air Force any good if I'm sending people out that are going to be out in a year for failing PT tests. We will not do that. So I would like to think that PT is important to everybody, and they're going to do it on their own, no issues. But if that were true, we wouldn't have to have a program and a test. And so we're going to offer the opportunity for you to be good at PT through PT sessions. And we're going to validate that through some testing monthly. The way this is going to work, and you'll see this in writing tomorrow, there's basically going to be 3 statuses. You're going to be on our fitness improvement program. If you either do not or have not made the 2nd Air Force standard, or are currently fail an Air Force standard PT appraisal, minus the waist. So that's it. If you are no status, you're going to be in a fitness improvement program. You're going to PT 5 days a week, and it will affect your phase status. If you meet the 2nd Air Force standards, you only have to do that once. You've met the 2nd Air Force standards. You are good the rest of your life, and you are passing your PT appraisals. I will never mess with you about PT tests. You'll PT with your flight 3 times a week, and that can be however the flights want to run it. I don't care as long as it's working and you're passing your appraisals. If you get above a 90 or above a 70, because we're taking away the 20 points of waist, so without counting your waist, if you add up all your scores, so your run, your push-ups, your sit-ups, you get above 70 points, you will only have to PT in a formate or in a group once a week. That's it. You maintain that status, you are good to go. I'm not going to mess with you. So to recap, you're not making a standard, be it the 2nd Air Force or I'm not passing the actual Air Force standard. I'm going to mess with you. You're going to PT 5 times a week, and 2 of those are not going to be fun. They're going to be at 0.5. You make the standard, you keep the standard 3 times a week with your flight as it's convenient for course. You ball out of control, you PT once a week. Done.
Yep. So just to be clear, so when the commander is saying the only standard that we're talking about that's a one and done is going to be the Second Air Force standards. Everybody will do a monthly appraisal. That monthly appraisal will dictate your phase, whether you stay in a phase, go up in a phase, or even go down in a phase. So no matter what, so even if you're over a 90, you are still each month required to revalidate your fitness level. And basically that's where you're earning your ability to stay in phase. So you can be in phase 3-1. If you hook a PT appraisal, you will go back down to phase 1 until you're back above the appropriate fitness level. And then
I can handle the one about the
waivers.
Waivers.
Yeah.
That one if you want to handle the next one.
Yeah.
All right, so if you are on a waiver, well, you're not going to get above 70 points. So you will be PTing 3 times a week. But you'll get credit for that waiver. So I'm not going to throw you back in FIP because of that. But if you're on a waiver, you'll be there 3 times a week. With the intent is as soon as you get off the waiver, we want you to be able to get an excellent. The goal of this entire process, in my objective for this thing, is to have 0 people on FIP, right, and almost everybody PTing once a week.
Yep.
Because that's when we're good, man. We don't have to worry about it. And it's the way the Air Force is structured, right? If you get above a 90, you PT once a year, you take your test, and you're good to go. Nobody messes with you. And I would like for every one of us to have that opportunity in the squadron. So when you leave here, you never worry about PT because you're good to go.
Yep. So the question was, so working outside at the overhang would not count as the once a week. Yes. So that once a week is going to be in that organized PT session. So when your class, when they get together, you only have to do that one time. And then everybody else that's below, the standard, then they will do the 3 times with their classmates. But for those that are above, in the endurance part of our table, they will be the ones that will just do it once collectively with their classmates, and then the other times will be on their own.
And as far as the does this apply to those who do the PT with their classes 3 times a week? These are melded together, right? Yeah. So working backwards, if you're above a 70 or 90 with waist measurement, let's say, you're once a week with your class. If you are passing, you are 3 times a week with your class. If you are not passing in the fitness improvement program for whatever reason, you are 3 times a week with your flight and twice a week with the FIP team.
Let's see. No, you will not be phased back if you're on a profile.
No, I'm not going to punish you for being on a profile. No. And we're going to have this postered everywhere. Yep. We're going to get the data out to you. And I'm going to be honest with you. This was an intentional build from about 3 weeks ago, right? Yep. Because the Second Air Force came down and said, boom, here's the standard. Which is good, and I'm glad they did. But we're also trying to be rational in the fact that we need to have a program that gives you an opportunity to meet that standard before we hold you to that standard. So we're not going to give anybody a PT appraisal. I'm not going to start throwing out FIP stuff until after we do a PT appraisal at the end of this month. Yeah. So you should have had a month of PTing with folks. You should have personal responsibility before that, so you were at least striking distance of passing. You're going to be good to go. We're going to roll up on this. Everybody's going to pass for the most part. We're going to get our folks that we get in from basic training that aren't quite at that Second Air Force standard. Most of them 1 or 2 push-ups off. We're going to knock out some push-ups, get them good to go, and then we're all going to be hanging out and having fun 3 days a week as a flight, except for those people that are super awesome and just do it once, whatever.
No, so basically, if you meet the standard, so you come here, you've already met the Second Air Force standard, you're good. The only way you get phased back is if you fall below passing. So if you're thinking about the PT score chart, think of that as, hey, I got below a 75. Okay, that is where, hey, you would get phased back. It's because, hey, I got below a 75. So if you get below a 55, so we're moving, the waist component of that. If you get below a 55, once we've added up your scores, then yes, you will get phased back. So the question about has my class done an appraisal, got above a 90, you're good to go, man. I'm not messing with anybody till the end of this month anyways. Exactly. So whatever the current guidelines are with you and your flight and your class, cool, man. You're going to
since you got a 90 before, you're probably going to knock it out at the end of this month. You're good, man. And then you're just going to recertify each month.
Yep.
And that's how we know this works. So your burden is going to be 3 in an average month. It's going to be 3 sessions, 1 mock, and you're cool. It should be fine. But again, I know we're getting lost in the sauce here, right? But big picture, this is going to be published. And for those that are asking about break-in service, yeah, it's a squadron PT policy, and it's going to apply to everybody. If you're here, you're going to adhere to this PT standard because it's the squadron PT standard, and you're in the squadron. But excellent, once a week. Passing, 3 times a week. Failing, 5 times a week. If you just think of it like that, you're good, man. Yeah. And don't worry about failing because we're not going to fail. We're going to have a program, knock this out. It's not rocket. This is way easier than the stuff you do in class. Mm-hmm. Do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, run a little bit. We're good. And please understand, this is not punitive. My goal, and I've been going to as many of the sessions as I'm able to fit in the schedule. My goal is for everybody to be laugh, smile, good times, because we're all doing a good job with this, and then walk back and just as an extension of our life. Because that's how this works. If it's us yelling at you and chasing you around a track, that's just dumb. Because then you're going to you're not getting any. There's no learning occurring. So this is designed just to be just like in the classroom, student led, just like when you come into a hybrid classroom. Mm-hmm. You prep for the test, you dominate the test at the end of the month. I'm not messing with you. It's very, very, in my mind at least, simple. Just go run.
ROM status.
Yeah, you can go run.
Yeah.
ROM students, and this is, and I apologize, this wasn't part of the guidance. You can just go for a run. You can go out down the flight line that's right behind the building. You can run the perimeter if you're so inclined to run that far, and that's just gross. Right. Or you can just run. You can go run to the track, run some laps. What you're not allowed to do is interact with the main body, correct, be it the BX, be it the shop at places like that.
So up Forte again. So yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. So we pretty much. So now so you can equate 100 to 80. 80 is the max you can get on this thing. So yeah.
Everybody gets a free 20 points for the waist. I don't want to measure anybody's waist. That's just not fun. And I honestly don't know that the Air Force is going to do that much longer anyway.
Exactly.
So, and if you can dominate the rest of the test, whatever, man, we're cool.
Yeah. Hopefully that clears that up. We'll see.
Oh, and by the way, and if I sound grouchy on this, I'm absolutely not. I'm more upset that we have not turned the corner on this and gotten better guidance for you. So.
Is that Cindy?
What?
It is City.
Oh my God! Ignore her. All right.
Let's see. So rumors about Fort Meade. Yeah. So there are some bases right now that are still collecting data as far as for infrastructure. There we go.
Hi, Tenny.
For infrastructure, can they take in new personnel? So right now, each base is tasked with determining whether or not they can allow people to leave or bring people in. So right now, Fort Meade is one of those bases. However, we're in a standby mode to determine, how long do they think they're going to be in that status? So right now, no one's losing assignments. No one's being diverted. What we know right now is that things are on hold and allowing each base to come up with, how long they see themselves before they can open up, and what limitations are they going to face. But for you guys are the priority to get moving. So yeah.
And you're all grown up, so I want to give you the full disclosure, right? So if you were to get on your Google machine and look and see what's actually going on with some of the rules and DoD and read some of those regs, they are super confusing. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I don't understand half of them, right? So simply put, like if we have an instructor that wants to leave here, they need a GO and 206 to sign a piece of paper that lets them leave. Even if they have an assignment and a report no later than 2 weeks from now. So we've got cases of people who are supposed to leave as instructors on Friday and aren't going to get to leave. They've got their stuff packed up, their house is sold, and they're going to have to stay in a hotel. Right now, the easiest PCSs are for students, which is why we've been pushing on this so hard, because the window is as wide open as any window in the Air Force. So we're trying to get you guys out, and the best thing that you can do with us or for us with that is just be ready to go.
Yeah.
Because we will get you someplace, and there is a team that is dedicated to keeping this pipeline moving. Because there will be disruptions, right? We're all, you all are critical thinkers. As people interact with this disease and each other, there's going to be spikes and valleys and stuff like that. So right now, where it's clear, we need to get moving.
Now, the trip to the lake, I would say absolutely. I would say based off of the success of the last one, that is a possibility. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think the boss will echo the same thing. Our intent is that a trip to the lake will have to be put together again because hopefully soon the gate will be open. So here's the thing. What we're doing is we don't necessarily want to engage in conversations such as those because then it just keeps the discussion going about not opening the gate. We want to keep the conversation going about opening the gate. So we won't necessarily talk about, hey, lake trips and food trucks and stuff like that because we're focusing more on, hey, get the gate open and you guys can go out to the town and do your own thing. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, a trip to the lake, absolutely, man. That'll be the floor, right?
Yeah.
So if we cannot negotiate or get ourselves in a position in the decision, because it's really not negotiation, it's just get the decision tree moving and get where we need to go. The actual gate open next week to you all, then yeah, sure, we'll try to throw together a trip to the lake. But let's aim a little bigger than that, okay? Yeah. Appraisals on the track. Actually, if the flights can, so I'd like the flights to run the appraisals, and I know Gear's here.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, man. Well, I would prefer to give you an option test wherever's best for you.
Absolutely. Forte again.
So with Strava, I already gave that to Sergeant Worthington for action, so he's already looking into that.
So, dudes, again, if you are passing, so if you are not in the fitness improvement plan or program, your flight is going to dictate how you do it, and if it's all the bells and whistles and you're getting your workouts and you're passing the appraisal at the end of the month, I honestly don't care if it's 500 times jumping on each foot, and that's the magic sauce to get you through. It's good. The only problem that we're going to have is if you're not meeting the standard. Then we're going to have to make sure we meet the standards.
She's excited. So Louisiana.
What's that?
He's asking. So Atkins is asking about confirmation whether Louisiana can travel through it with PCSing.
It's one of the 39 states.
It is. That's cleared or not cleared?
Yeah. So
it's clear.
Yeah. So if it's traveled to go through Louisiana, don't go to New Orleans. It's
yeah.
right there, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't, yeah.
You're supposed to go via or direct from here to there.
Right.
But yeah, right now the goal is to get you out of this gate and get you into the next gate, directly between points, and you're good.
How much you take the last one, sir? I'm curious what you say
Okay,
about
that. So that's going to depend, right? So that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
If an airman is under the weather on the date of their PT test, it's really going to depend. So if the airman was already in the FIT program, they're going to stay in the FIT program. If you were in if you're in the maintenance program, you're just going to stay in the maintenance program. Mm-hmm. It should be in your best interest to take these appraisals, because the intent is this is not supposed to be punitive. This is supposed to be your opportunity to certify up. Think of this as your chance every month to level up. If you are in FIP, I would be begging to get a test so I can get out of that. If you are in a standard where you got to test PT times 3 times a week, I would be wanting a test so I can get out of that and only do it once a week. So yeah, if you're under the weather, we're probably just going to freeze you where you're at.
Exactly. Yeah. You won't go up or down. So.
But if you're always under the weather, then it's going to make me scratch my head and be like, okay, dude, let's fix this problem.
Right.
Because that's just chronic. Let's not do that. Oh, dude, yeah. So a couple sources are reporting. So I appreciate this person, first of all, paying attention to the news. A spike in COVID cases across Texas. Yeah, absolutely. This is what's going on right now, right? So we've started to open. Texas is opened. Lots of interactions. Oh, man, somebody else asked a question, so it jumped. And
That's right there, sir. Yeah.
My wife's probably telling me I need glasses right now.
No.
Yeah, so actually, that's an awesome question, right? So Tom Green County, right? Tom Green County is not bad. That's the barren, desolate land around us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not bad because it's a lot of dirt, right?
She's talking about you. Yeah.
So I think what we're going to be looking for here is we open up Same way we opened up with staff, right? So staff was really stuck within 50 miles. Then we expanded to 300. When we open up for students, it's probably going to be very limited to keep us within that safety bubble of Tom Green County, because we know Tom Green County is actually a fairly safe bubble right now.
Yeah.
So that's a smart question and a smart informed airman that's keeping track of what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's in line with how the decision-making process is going. So thank you for the question, and that's really how it's going to roll.
She's clowning you, sir. So when we say appraisal, so basically what's going to happen is towards the end of the month, everybody is going to take an appraisal. And based on those results, will then dictate which one of these 3 bins, boss's brief, that you will find yourself in. So if you're on phase 3 or 2 now, you will be taking an appraisal that will then dictate whether you stay in phase 3, move to phase 3, or go down to phase 1. So it will be across the board. Everybody's going to do one at the end of the month.
And again, dudes, if we're doing this right, that appraisal or practice mock test or whatever, right? You're going to run a 1.5 miles, knock out a bunch of push-ups, knock out a bunch of sit-ups. It's going to be the easiest PT session of the month.
Right.
And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm so above this. Make a better test. It's really not going to be that hard. But I want you to understand that the focus is not on the test.
Right.
The test is going to validate the previous 3 weeks.
Right.
Just like, when you take a test, we never really concentrate on the outcome of that test. We concentrate on the outcome of learning prior to that test.
Right.
Same exact thing on the track, right? We're going to be good. We're going to dominate this. You're going to move forward. We're not going to have to worry about anybody on fit. Yeah, I mean, I would ask for any of you that are in the hybrid class, hybrid classes, we're taking the same exact approach to this.
Yeah.
We're going to give good airmen an opportunity to dominate and get good things. Too easy.
I just arrived here. What are these standards now? We'll push it out tomorrow, sir.
Yeah, so we'll push out the standard. So the standard, for those that just arrived, the standard is the standard, right? It's the Air Force standard. The second Air Force standard is the same standard they had at basic training. Just the way that they've done this is that instead of making you get to the full thing at basic training, you have to get to 85%, and then I got to get you up to 100%. Super easy. It'll be hung up everywhere. It's not going to be hard.
So when's it going to effect?
Well, it's been in effect for a few weeks, but we've been doing the practice parts.
Right.
So before we threw out tests on you, we threw out some PT sessions.
Right.
So the first opportunity to level up or get yourself where you need to be is going to start at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a FIP enforcement in early July. Yeah. And I will lead the first FIP session. So I will be out there with you at 0500. My goal is to have none of you there with me in a few months.
No, we're not going to war with Russia.
Dude, I don't think we're going to war with Russia. We can get into decision game theory, things like that, and I will nerd out for a few hours, but we're not going to do that.
Phasing is starting to come back.
Okay, so phasing should be back.
Yes.
And I apologize if it is not, but we will have our phase in full effect by next week. Because phase has to come. One of the things that has to happen is phase has to come back for the gate to open.
Yep.
Right? Because there's privileges associated with phase that let you out that gate.
Right.
I can't go to the boss and say, hey, man, or sir, of course, open the gate. I'm just going to let everybody go.
Right.
That violates all the rules. So phase has to get tightened up, and then we'll get you out. And phase rules will be fairly standard. They will be hung up everywhere.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's it. But we're not going to make this painful, right? And I'd ask for those of you that have been here for a while to tell those that just got here that's not, we try to keep things cool in the squadron. It's not going to be the worst case. Don't imagine it's going to be awful. We'll make it easy. We'll give you an opportunity to get up through those phases. Really, I'm excited to do this because we can go back to our plans before, right before COVID screwed us.
Right.
Where you earn phase by the things that you do.
Exactly.
So you all are doing amazing things. We'll validate those and we'll get you out of phase. I hope so.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, again, I would hope that nobody. I'm not telling you to go do this, but I hope that nobody's been brought down because they were wearing civilian clothes outside of class.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not gonna touch that one, seniors.
Yeah, understand that the installation commander, it's his role that hey, during the duty hours, wear a uniform, right? Obviously, there's different. Hey, I work CQ, so I'm off on Monday and Tuesday, whatever. Obviously, cool, but that can be explained. But this is not a hey, I'm done with class early. I'm gonna run off and go on my civvies. And it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Probably don't want to run to the wing commander, and now you're getting hemmed up with that kind of question. So if you really want to be in your civvies that much, you may want to be in your civvies in your room.
Again, you all grown
Yeah.
men and women.
Yeah.
The thing that gets us on this is sunbathing out in front of 240 at 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday.
Yes. Not a good look.
That's a tough one for me to defend.
Exactly.
Right?
These are real things. This is not like
I
we're
mean,
just making this stuff up.
yeah,
This
so
is real stuff.
So we can go with logical arguments, and then the trump card of, well, they're sunbathing in front of 240 at 2
Exactly.
o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. Oh,
It's like, I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Just yeah.
So you work with it, and we can do good things. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's Cam Newton, I guess. I don't. Oh no, it's Chinese, right?
Where's our linguist when we need him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get extra? Yeah. So you get this standard Air Force.
Well, here's the thing, because technically you don't. So once your profile expires, you're good to go.
We're gonna have
So,
to consult with the medical community on that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I totally understand the profiles.
Yeah.
Though oddly, in 26 years, I've never been on one. I'm not on one.
You should be.
I think that we're going to be okay.
So to be clear, if you're on a profile, you're not phased back. You're not being punished.
Yeah, you're not being punished for being on a profile.
Correct.
You're just not going to have the opportunity to level up.
Correct. So if you are in phase 2, you're just going to spin in phase 2.
Yeah. So again, I'm not trying. Yeah, I think we're going to be good. We're looking at this the wrong way. What I'd like to do in 2 months, be able to stand there and say, hey, we don't have a fit program because we don't need a fit program because everybody in the squadron's a baller. That's kind of the point on this. It's not to punish people because, God, I don't want to be there at 5 a.m. either.
Yeah. No, yeah, the uniform thing until 1630 will continue to be a thing no matter what the phase program is.
So, Airman Augusto, last time I was a UFPM and a commander, I understood the rules also. So if you have a question, we can sit down and talk.
Ooh, phasing and marching.
So I hope not.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee you marching is not going to come back with phasing. What I can guarantee you is that our squadron perspective on this is that we haven't marched and nobody's been late to class. So maybe we're okay. Even before, for those of you who've been here for a while, there were days where we just didn't march. So again, we're going to work with us on this. I think that we're going to be okay.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, kind of like the uniform thing and, drinking responsibly thing. If you guys are taking care of business and you don't really give anybody a reason to question or wonder, then yeah. But if all of a sudden, if the wing commander looks out his window and he sees a bunch of airmen bebopping around the troop walk and hands in pockets and not saluting, staff cars or officers, he may say, nope, put them back in formation. So do the right thing and don't ever expose yourself to that type of scrutiny. So yeah.
As far as the bomber thing goes, just like Sergeant Gear said, yeah, that happens on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
They roll up, we roll up. That's every country does that.
Yeah.
It's just proven that you can do it.
Yeah. Once you guys go operational, you'll see. Okay. Yeah. This is literally like you said. This is just Tuesday.
Cool. Any other
Whoa.
any other questions? Let's. Okay, so I think we have some Russian guests. So.
Somebody. Yeah.
Oh no, I got you, Airman Augusta. I wasn't trying to flex it. I apologize also. So it's all good. We aren't going to be. We will get all that published as far as the PTL stuff. But where I don't want to lose the focus on here, right? We're not focused on passing the test.
Right.
We're focusing on dominating the test, not worrying about the test. So we can get all in the details of, I don't feel good that day. Copy, got it. We'll worry about it next month. I have an injury. Yes, we're going to work with you. Absolutely. But our objective of our PT program is to make sure PT is never a problem for you. Same way we want to teach you right in the classroom, we want to teach you right on the field, so you're good forever on that.
So let's see.
All right. Okay, so I think we're probably going to have to shut down the questions here.
Yep.
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 We will work with our technical difficulties and figure out what's going on there. And I guess I just want to end with I thank you guys all. You've been through 3 months. This has been better than we could have expected with some of the most professional airmen in the Air Force. So let's continue that. Let's get a good weekend. And then I hope next weekend that we're standing in front of you or sitting in front of you talking about all the awesome opportunities that are going to happen that weekend.
Yep.
So thank you.
Stay safe, guys.
See y'all.